Welcome to Passion, Purpose, and Possibilities. Today we are excited to be joined live by Jon Kovach JR. Jon, how's it going, Jon?
Hey, Kenny, what's going on, man?
Oh, pretty good. Things are going well. Just a little technical difficulties for whatever reason. The OSB is not connecting to Facebook currently, but we'll just roll with it anyways.
That's what we do, man. As entrepreneurs and business people, we roll with the punches.
That's right. So, thanks again for jumping on to Passion, Purpose, and Possibilities with me. Oh, there you go. You were sideways for a second. I want to discuss a few things, and I was hoping we'd be live and maybe get a few comments, but that's okay. Let's see here. You mentioned accountability and masterminds. First of all, let me ask you, how do you define your passion and how do you define your purpose?
How do I define my passion and how do I define my purpose? Those are great questions. I think the first part is passion has a lot to do with desire, or desire is a great discussion topic on what it is that we really want. Because a lot of us live lives and we live the way we feel others expect us to live, or we live in a way that isn't congruent with our absolute passions. And so bringing it full circle, our passion is really just what we want and how much energy and time we put into that. And so I love that this is a topic of passion, because I think that the number one way to find out what it is to live your passion, or to be on the mission of your passion, is to ask yourself the question, well, what is it that I really want? And get very, very clear on that. Crystal clear. If you're not crystal clear on exactly what it is you want, then you're going to get what you don't want. Because if you know what you don't want, I mean, people say, if you know the opposite, you'll know exactly what you do want. And I disagree with that. I think that you've got to know exactly what you want. A good mentor of mine and a friend, Bob Cattell, famous public speaker, used to speak on stage with Tony Robbins. He used to say, it's not about setting goals anymore, because everyone sets goals and no one ever achieves them, or, a very, very small percentage of people actually achieve their goals. But the majority of people who head in a direction of passion and head in a direction of what they absolutely desire and want usually find greater success. So that's my definition of passion and why I think it's important. And yeah, I mean, we can talk about accountability and masterminds and stuff, but I'm really here to serve your audience and talk about, passion and purpose and possibilities, as it says behind your background there. But I think that one of the coolest aspects of knowing or getting to know what you want is treating life like a drive-through. Everyone loves to just pull up in the drive-through. All right. I don't know Kenny, what's your drive-through of choice? Where do you like to go eat?
Oh, drive-through of choice. Well, it's hard anymore. I used to love Arby's, and the reason I do is because they serve Pepsi products. I'm a Pepsi.
Yeah.
And they don't do that, so I don't go to Arby's as much because they don't have Pepsi. I still like some of their food, so every once in a while I'll go there. But since that, it's been like usually Arctic Circle, because they have Pepsi and they have ice cream. So,
two of the greatest combinations. I love it. Okay, so I like that. Arctic Circle. For me, and to be completely just American, I'll either go to McDonald's or Wendy's or just a good old Taco Bell. But I like this idea of the Arctic Circle because it's got some pretty desirable flavors. So just to wrap this kind of question up, when we make decisions, it's really important to treat everything like the drive-through lane. Okay, when you pull up to the drive-through window, before you get there, you've got to make your order. And the lovely person on the end of the line says, hey, how can I take your order? And let's just say for a minute that person on the other line is the universe, whether it's God, your spiritual connection, or the greater good, or just the universe in general, because everything has a pull, everything has like a power. And whatever it is, you've got to step up and you've got to say what you want. It's either a number one, a number two, a side of fries. You got to get that large, that large, let's call it cookies and cream ice cream with the large Coke or a large Pepsi on the side, right? You got to tell them what you want. You can't pull up to the window and say, I kind of want this, because they're going to say, well, do you want it or not? Because you got a yes or a no answer, right? You gotta be specific. Otherwise they can't take your order. And the universe takes orders. It really wants to know what you want. And when you make that decision, yeah, I'm going to go with ice cream and a large Pepsi, then you already assume, or you already know, that when I pull up to the drive-through window where I pay and they give me, they give me what I ordered, that they're not going to give me a cheeseburger with fries, but they're going to give me ice cream and a Pepsi, because that's what I ordered. Life is the exact same way. Our passions, our purpose, all of that, to bring it into possibilities, we have to think as specific and as clear as we want. It's just like pulling up to the window. Every morning, whether you pray, meditate, do yoga, or whatever you do to truly gain an appreciation for what you're about to accomplish that day, it's vital to me that you've got to know exactly what you want. And most of us wake up, roll out of bed, and do the same thing every day. And you know what? When you do the same thing every day, you get the same thing that you put in. And I think that's a huge, huge piece of passion. So in order to find your passion, you guys, I would say that you need to always be definite in what you want. And then use the drive-through method before anything. Then you have the ability to pursue your dreams.
I love that. And it made me think of, who you surround yourself with. Who's on the other end of that drive-through taking your order? Is it some happily bubbly, hey, welcome to Artist Circle, how can I help you? It's such a great day. And you're more excited. You're like, yeah, awesome, I want this and I want this. And oftentimes, you'll order more because they're happy and bubbly, and you'll strike up a small conversation, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm planning to go fishing today or whatever, just some idle chat. Versus, what can I get started for you? You're like, well, I don't know. I don't want anything, kind of thing, So, who's on that receiving end? Who do you surround yourself with? What kind of mental attitude is the atmosphere in that drive-through? And it can make a huge impact on what you order and what you expect. It's like, what are you having? I'm having this. Okay, I'll have that too. And it's funny you mentioned earlier that people often do, just what their society tells them to do, whatever. I listened to sorry, I'm looking at my phone so I get the talk right. The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. And it's saying how so many people just follow the crowd and they have no idea where the crowd's going or no idea why they're following the crowd. Well, everybody else is doing it, so I guess I'll do it too. But when you get to that drive-through, do you order, well, I'll have what that guy had up there. You have no idea what he had up there, or you have no idea if you're going to like it. Versus like what you said, knowing exactly what you want, and then expecting to get what you ordered. So, and then he goes on to talk about a couple different things in there. He says, I want to touch back on your accountability and how that ties into living your passion. He says, I'm going to paraphrase it here. People, to kind of paraphrase some of it, people have it backwards. They think success is the result of getting a lot of money, when in fact, money is the result of being successful. And I've heard that before, and it just hit me again. It's like, holy cow. That's the money is kind of the bonus side effect. You get so much more. You grow into that person that can benefit your family, yourself, your people around you, and then money is just kind of the bonus. to being successful at whatever that is. You know, and that ties right into accountability. You know, then knowing what you want. You got to know what you want, then be accountable to yourself and those around you. If that's a family, if that's your church family, if you will, that's your community, that's your clients, whoever it is. So, to you, how does accountability tie into all that?
Well, I think it ties into it all. I mean, I think that the center of the universe is a very important and major place and purpose in all that we do, and that is our integrity. And people know and often associate the definition of integrity as what you do when nobody's watching, right? Most people think that's what integrity is, and I would go deeper. Integrity is more than just what you do when no one's watching. Integrity is keeping your commitments, and that's commitments to others, but mostly to yourself. You are the most important person in your own world. Therefore, integrity with yourself is how you continue to keep the promises and the dreams that you make as individuals. When we grow up, when we become adults and we start taking on more responsibilities, we get numb to, the dreams that we often have. As teenagers, as preteens, as children, we had the greatest, biggest imaginations and dreams. And those were squashed by adulthood. But nobody did it for us other than ourselves, because we got practical. We started thinking a little bit more about X's and O's and less about the destination. A good mentor friend of mine used to say, if you can close your eyes and envision it, then you can also taste it, smell it, and be it. I think that's just extremely important. So accountability goes into all of this, because accountability just means integrity with yourself and with others. When you're striving to achieve goals, to attain something in your life, you've got to decide whether that thing is worth moving forward towards or not. And then, there's steps in between, there's planning, there's all kinds of nonsense from point A to point Z, but all of that is part of the process. Whereas when you commit to yourself and you take yourself seriously more than you take others seriously, then you do increase your integrity power and you start to do what you say you're going to do. And it's not just when people are watching and not watching. It's not behind closed doors. It's in every aspect, every area, and every route of your life. So taking an accountability check is like taking an integrity check with yourself. When's the last time you said you were going to do something and then did it? Most of us every single day. But how many of us do so with the same upward excitement and zeal that we do with some of our passions and our goals? I'm an ex-college athlete, and it's easy for me to put the same amount of energy that I did out on the track and field, doing my workouts or doing my training or competing, as I do in the office, because it was a physical, emotional feeling. Whereas if you're not in athletics or you don't have an athletic background, there's a different mindset that you have to transmute in order to feel the same sort of energy doing what you said you were going to do. And a lot of us have to practice at that. A lot of us have to remember that accountability is us finding ways to succeed in our existence and in our goals. But really what we're challenging is our own integrity. So building an integrity muscle is what we need to do with our goals and our passions and so forth. And I love that you quoted the Nightingale, whether it's a speech, a book, or article. That's such a powerful place to start a lot of your value systems. Because when you read through some of the writings of Nightingale, you find a lot of incredible truths that will never change. And those truths always hit on the personal development and the personal growth within one individual before the growth and development of other people's. So I know that there's two answers to this, which are, focus on yourself and focus on your integrity to be more accountable to the things that you dream, because we need to have dreams. The other one is, and I'm quoting Zig Ziglar in this, but Zig used to say that you can get anything you want out of life if you help others get it too. And I believe that, because there's so much power in personal development and integrity, but then there's the development and integrity that you build with others. And as you serve others and help them get what they want, you too shall get everything that you want as well. So again, going back to the original thought here, the drive-through method. First, you got to know what you want. Second, you got to be integritous with yourself and actually do what you say you're going to do. And then third, you got to find time. You got to find a way to help other people get what they want through your talents, through your strengths, so that you too can get all and everything that you dreamed of. And that is, for me, it's all about passion. And what's funny about that, Kenny, is that the second you hit the sweet spot, the second you are in a moment of joy or in a moment of service or in a moment of selflessness, in that moment, you forget the stress of achieving that goal. You forget the process of that goal or that action. You forget really the plan that's in front of you, and you're just enjoying the journey. A smile, a small amount of laughter, or even just a mere glimpse of excitement. That emotion quickly takes over, and in that moment and instance, you've forgotten about the plan. And yet everything is still reality and everything is still possible, and yet we can still achieve so much. So I'm a huge fan of that, and I think that everyone needs to have a little bit more integrity with themselves and with others, and that's how you build up your accountability muscle. Once you've done that, boy, you're unstoppable. You start achieving things that no one else is achieving around you. A lot of us call that GOAT, or the greatest of all time, right? The GOATs. And the GOATs, they have one formula, and it's simple. They're integritous with themselves and with others, and they work hard at it. And in those moments, they forget about the plan, and they just execute. And I think that we need to remember that if we want power and purpose and a lot of, fluent success in our lives. So there you go.
Awesome. And you said a couple things that, really, and then you kind of answered the next question. But one of the things when you said helping others, it made me think of the Clydesdale analogy.
Yeah.
Clydesdale horses, put it one can pull about 8,000 pounds by themselves, but if you put two of them together, they can pull about 24,000 pounds. So if you're helping others and you're teaming up and putting your talents and efforts with somebody else, you're going to go a lot further than you would by yourself. And I love that. And my next question is, how do you start dreaming again and going after your passion or purpose? I think of like a subway line in New York. You got thousands of people all going this way, and then you're like, wait, I don't want to go this way. I want to go that way. How do you recognize that and start dreaming again after society and life and adulthood has beat that out of you, kind of thing?
Man, I love this question. I would honestly say that there's probably an endless list of answers and solutions to that, but I'll go with my initial response would be is follow your God-given intuition. Some people call it your gut. Follow your gut, because I like that analogy you gave, Kenny, about the subway station, because I used to live in one of my favorite cities is Washington, D.C., and the only way to get around Washington, D.C. is to take the metro. Or if you're in Manhattan, New York, it's to take the sub. So I love this because when you get in line and there's the crowds of people, and this train's going this way, but somewhere you just know I'm on the wrong side, or I gotta go the other direction. But yet we will still follow the people around us. I think the most important piece of all this is to be able to think for ourselves. I mean, we were given a brain, we were given a heart to beat that brain and to supply it with blood. And the brain was given the opportunity to help us send wavelengths and currencies into our body to make actions happen. All of that just means we were given a natural, let's call it a machine. We were given a machine for success. We have the platform for success in everything we do, the way we were built and designed. And because of that, we have this intuition. I would say there's not a single person in this world that doesn't have the intuition to know what they should be doing, where they should be going, because we all have our North Star. We all are drawn to that which we want most. And that's the desire, that's the passion that we need to seek. Remember the drive-through method? You got to know what you want, but you got to dig deep to figure out what you want, because it's going to come. As soon as you make that order, you pull around to the drive-through window, it's going to be there. They ain't giving you a cheeseburger and fries. They're giving you that Pepsi and that ice cream because that's what you ordered, right? And so, again, the first steps that I would say is trust your gut, trust your intuition. You really, truly do know what you want and what you need. You don't have to go on some journey for clarity. And I hear a lot of people say that and do that, and I understand where they're coming from. But everything that you need is within you already, because as adults, we getting into some psychology here, which I'm not a psychologist, but I have plenty of friends who are, and the adults, us, operate with the same 8-year-old mindset or the same 8-year-old selves, because as an 8-year-old, we either got what we wanted or we didn't, and that sticks with us for a lifetime until we can get what we actually have desired. And because of that, we hold on to it. So as individuals, as humans, it is natural for us to know exactly what we want. And if you need to go on some lifelong journey to figure that out, you're probably closer than you ever believed. You're just denying it, missing it, or you don't want to accept it. But then there are people, there are people who sell, or I guess sell away everything that they own to get rid of the distractions and find that clarity. But clarity truly comes with just digging deep and understanding what it is that you want. And to answer your question, Kenny, I think that the 99% of us need to remember that we have a brain, that we have the ability to do what it is, to think for ourselves, right? My favorite, I don't mean to quote scripture here, but my favorite story in biblical times is the prodigal son story, because here he is just sitting in a mud pile full of pagan swine and feces, and he just came to himself, recognized that he had gone off the path. And we all have the ability to just remember, to remind ourselves, to come to ourselves and say, wow, this is what I want. Step number 1, trust your gut, trust your intuition, and start down that path, start down that road. And once you start making actions, just repeat all the steps we just previously discussed. I think that that's just so important. Success isn't always easy. Our goals, our passions, our dreams, they're not easy, but they are simple. They don't need to be complicated. Billionaires will say the same thing over and over and over again. And even millionaires will say it over and over and over again. How you win riches, how you obtain wealth, how you find success is the simplest process. It's just the application that needs to go into it. And I do that, or we do that. We can all do that by trusting our gut, taking our intuition, and putting as much energy into that direction as possible.
I love what you started off with to answer this question. You said there are thousands of answers and solutions to that question. And I love that because it's so true, and because there's no one size fits all. Your passion and purpose and the way you go about it may not be the same as mine or your neighbors. There might be some similarities and you might cross some paths kind of thing, but it's not 100% the same. And I love that. It doesn't have to be a one size fits all. You could be on that journey together, but for a while, and then, your goal is this, but your goal is this. But there's a lot of similarities that you could work to, and and then you added to it, think for yourself, because again, your passion might be similar to mine, but the end goal or the exact goal might be different. Going back to the drive-through, you might want a hamburger with fries but no pickles, or I want extra pickles, but it was still hamburger and fries. Or I always get very light ice in my soda, but you might like more ice, or you might want a Dr. Pepper, but you're still getting a soda. So I love how you put that and just following your gut and your intuition, and then being true to yourself and holding yourself to those standards, and that. I just drew a blank here. That's.
I love it.
Yeah. Having that. Well, that's gonna drive me crazy. Intuition. Having that intuition and living true to that intuition for you. In that subway station, okay, I'm getting on this train, but the next stop I need to go this way, versus following everybody all the way. Before you know it, you look back and you're 72. So, to wrap this up, what is one last little tidbit that you would give someone to explore their possibilities? Say they're on that journey, and that journey could be, a 6-month trip to wherever, or it could be 10 minutes locked in a room, just kind of having some quiet time. Exploring those possibilities of what they're capable of, what they can do. What would you, little tidbits to them?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I kind of knew it was coming, so I'm glad I thought of it. But here's what I believe. And once I recognized what I truly wanted, I sunk my claws so deep so that I couldn't get thrown off the train or get taken off my path. I sunk my claws in so deep that I would be on this path for as long as I could hold on. And as far as I know, I'm still holding on because it is one of the coolest paths. And all of the steps that we shared, you and I talked about, Kenny, I followed. And when I recognized that the one thing that I needed most in my life was going to accelerate my successes and get me where I wanted to be faster and more efficiently, was when I was more involved in serving others through the accountability cycle that goes into a mastermind group. I'll share one thought here with everybody. I teach a curriculum called the 4 Irrefutable Laws of High Performance. I'll say that again. The 4 Irrefutable Laws of High Performance. And what these truly are the principles and values of accountability, from personal accountability to professional accountability to one-on-one, peer-to-peer accountability, and then what I call peer group, or what I call also the mastermind methodology. Those are all accountability factors that go into one's ability to accelerate and achieve their goals faster. We eliminate the cowardly option for retreat, as I put it. There are no options for a plan B or no options to deviate from your course. Once you know and once you find out what it is that you want, you're able to go in that direction at a massive, massive speed and a ton of energy into it. And when you do, you find exponential amount of success. And so I found my passion and love in the mastermind methodologies. I started by reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And in his 10th chapter, he talks about the mastermind methodology. And for me, the mastermind methodology really encompasses all 4 areas of accountability that I mentioned, from personal, professional, peer-to-peer, and your group accountability. And what I love about that is that when you find yourself in the service of others, okay, a mastermind for those who don't know what a mastermind is, it's not a criminal mastermind. It is a group of people, 1 or 2 or more people who get together and then they take the time in the spirit of harmony to help and solve each other's challenges, to work together towards a definite purpose and cause. And what that really means is if you get someone else with you and other people around you who are heading in the same direction, not necessarily the exact same goals, but heading in the same direction, and they're willing to commit, the help and the camaraderie and the work that goes in between you and a group of people is much more motivating and inspiring than when you're off on the lonely journey as an entrepreneur. And so I say that entrepreneurship is the loneliest journey because oftentimes we silo ourselves in our own ideas. But when you surround yourself with the people and the teams that actually help you build the business to grow and run, it is when you find your true value and purpose. And I think that a lot of us are doing that. We are trying so hard to achieve everything on our own. Stop it. My advice is stop it. Don't do it on your own. The African proverb is if you want to go fast, go for it. Go alone. But if you want to go far, go with others. And I think that others is the key. So my advice, and the one thing I'd leave everyone with, is find others to surround yourself with. I invite you to find out more and learn more about the mastermind methodology. Because if you're able to join a local mastermind, or you're able to make or build your own little mastermind, whatever it is, it will give you the information, it will give you the camaraderie, it will build the accountability, and it will help you piece together everything you need in an accelerated amount of time to achieve all that you want, all that you desire, and all the dreams that you have. And I think that that's just the most important piece to it all. So go find yourself a mastermind. If you'd like to learn more about masterminds, you're very, very welcome to reach out to me. I'm one of the top mastermind facilitators in the world, and one of the youngest at that as well. And I'm happy to connect you with one. I'm happy to share one with you. And I'm even happy to one-on-one point you in the right direction, because whether it's my mastermind, one of the masterminds I'm associated with, Kenny's mastermind, or a local mastermind that I can help you find, that piece is going to accelerate your accountability and drive your success into reality much faster than going on your own. And that's it. That's the bread and butter of my story and who I am and what I preach. And so I think that if everyone followed just a little bit of the things that we teach and some of the things that we discussed, Kenny, you're going to find a lot more success than if you just woke up today and rolled out of bed and went on your daily routines. So just take one thing from today and work through it. But my high recommendation is to find yourself in a mastermind methodology situation where you can accelerate your goals. So happy to reach out to me at any time on social media, Jon Kovach JR, anywhere, and I'm happy to answer that question. Or if Kenny wants me back on the show, or if you just want to post comments and questions in the post wherever you're finding this, I'm happy to answer those questions, and just let me know what you want.
Absolutely, and reach out to Jon. He's such a great guy. Got a lot of good stuff going on. Can't go wrong with that. And Jon, again, thanks for everything. I love the Clydesdale thing that we brought up a few times, and it's so powerful. It's that going with those others in the same direction, you'll get so much more out of it. I'm studying. In fact, I'm doing a mastermind on Think and Grow Rich. And, just talking to somebody else, they could read the same sentence and you get 5 different things out of it that you totally miss. You're like, what, where did that say that? Holy cow. And it's so powerful. So thanks again for bringing that up, and thanks for being on the show. And everyone tuning in, go live your passion and purpose and explore those possibilities. Awesome. Thank you, Jon.
You're welcome, my friend. Thanks for having me. That was fun.